All right, cool, man. We're live, man. Sorry for starting a little late, right? We're like a minute late. I'm excited, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be explaining why I'm really excited. My wife is actually, she's not here. She's doing some work, right? For those of you guys who may know us or may not know us, my name is Paulo. My wife is Cassandra, and together we are the power couple, right? I'm really excited, and here's the reason why, right? Tonight what we're going to be sharing, what I'm going to be talking about is the sales psychology and how to structure a funnel that converts in your business, right? A funnel that spits out sales and signups and all that good stuff, right? And here's the reason why that's important, right? Because as you're building your business through the internet, right? One thing that I've understood is that a lot of people don't buy on their first exposure, right? It's a funny story, actually. When I got started 10 months ago, I actually bought the first time, right? I saw a video, I saw a sales video, and I just instantly bought. I remember running. I ran upstairs like a crazy maniac, and my wife was there, and I just looked at her and I said, "Babe, 1 second, we need to buy this." And she's looking at me, and she's saying, "Well, what is it?" And I'm like, I have no idea what it is, right? And here's the reason why. I just love to buy. I know some of you guys are probably, I'm guilty of that. I like to buy whenever something is being sold that's really good. And that's probably, I've always been like that. You know, I would say that I don't really have to think things over. When I see something that's good and I see something that's going to help me, right? Like many of you guys decided to pick up and get started with the blog, right? Because it's something that's valuable, right? Something that just it's good, right? And that's kind of like where I was at in my life. You know, I picked it up and I just bought, right? Now the problem is not everybody's like that. You know, there's very few people who are like myself, and very few people like maybe yourself. Maybe you bought the first time. I'm not sure. You know, and maybe that's the deal, right? Well, anyways, I bought, right, and I did it. When I got started, I was thinking everybody was going to be like that, right? Big problem, because I said, hey, this is going to be so simple. All I have to do, right? All I have to do is get people to start watching this, right? And they'll just buy, right? And I really didn't understand, right? I didn't really understand how that worked. Now here's the deal, right? Not everybody does that, right? A couple of things that I want to discuss before I get into the meat of that, right? Is from now on, right? I know some of you guys know this. I know some of you guys attend every single week, right? But from now on, we're going to be having team hangouts every single week, okay? On Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, right? And here's the reason why you need to be there every single week. Because every week, we're going to be getting on here and we're going to be sharing with you the exact same things that we're doing in our business, right? The strategies, the trainings, the advice, the tips that you need for your business, right? This is stuff that you can literally implement, right? And just put it into your business and start seeing your business go to the next level, right? Now, when I got started, I didn't have that type of guidance, right? A lot of the things that I know that I now know was really self-taught, right? It was really self-taught. And when I got started and I bought, right, instantly, what happened was, this is what happened. I struggled, and some of you guys are probably struggling right now, right? But here's what I want to let you know, and I want you to pay attention to this. I want you to really pay attention that if you just stick with this, right? If you just stick with us and you decide to run with us, right, and you just really stick with us and you don't stop, what's going to happen is that inevitably you're going to succeed. It's just inevitable. I mean, look, listen, if I can do it, right, I'm not the smartest kid in the world. As a matter of fact, if you ask anybody from high school if they thought that I would ever succeed on this level, they wouldn't expect it from me, right? So if I can do it, if me and my wife can do it, you can certainly do it, right? And it's the only reason why we were able to succeed is because we stuck with it. We stuck with it, right? Through the challenges, through the problems, through the situations, through not knowing how we were going to pay last month's rent, being backed up in bills, right? We just decided to stick with this, okay? And that's how we succeeded. We succeeded that way, right? Now, that's going back to what I was saying though. You want to make sure you're on here every single Wednesday. Make sure you block out that date and that time because it's going to be crucial to your success. I mean, if you really want to win, right, and if you're a member of Power Quantum, it's pointless. It's pointless for you to actually be a member and not be part of the team hangouts, right? Not be part of training that's going to literally not only change your life, but it's going to revolutionize your business, right? Real quick, 1 second, okay? I'm going to move real quick because it's kind of loud where I am. Just going to go outside real quick, right? All right, cool. Awesome. Cool. So I'm on this little what is this called? Like I forgot what it is. It's really like I don't know what it's called, right? Anyways, back to what I was saying, right? Let me just stop shaking this for a second, right? So if you can make that commitment, here's what me and my wife are gonna commit. We're gonna commit that every time we get on these hangouts, right, that we're gonna give 1,000%, and we're gonna give everything inside of us, and we're gonna give you the exact formula to winning, okay? And all you have to do is take action on that formula and implement it into your business. All right, so going now, let's get right to it, right? Let's talk about the sales psychology, a funnel, in which I'm going to show you some of our funnels that we have, okay? So make sure you stick around to the end of this video, or should I say end of this training. I'm so used to saying video because I shoot videos, right? Because we're going to be going over into some really good stuff here, okay? Now, let's start off with the first thing. I mentioned before, when I got started, I bought instantly. Now, a lot of people are not like that. They need to have multiple exposures, right? Multiple exposures of your business, right? In order for them to buy, right? And that's how a lot of people work. A lot of people are not willing to buy on the first time. So what we need to do first is develop and structure a sequence of multiple exposures. How to get people exposed to you, to what you're doing, to your ideas, you know, to the things that are eventually going to edge them, that are going to push them to making the decision to buy. Some of you guys actually got in because of training videos that you saw on the internet, where we were basically sharing with you stuff that we do in our business that it's helping us succeed, right? And we got some of you guys we got through email, some of you guys we got through Facebook, right? And the reason why we've been able to succeed on this level and we've been able to sign up people and sponsor people in our business is simply because we have a system in place that does these follow-ups for us, right? That follows up with people until they're ready to buy, right? Sometimes when we get new members, I mean, some of them have been following us for 2 months, some of them have been following us for 24 hours, you know, some people are different, right? But eventually, with the stuff that you're going to be learning on tonight's webinar, which I'm going to share with you in the next couple of minutes, right, you are going to be able to succeed, right, and you're going to be able to expose people on a massive level, okay? Now, I'm not sure if you guys were on yesterday's hangout with David Wood, but he covered some really great stuff, right? And if you guys weren't on, I'm going to discuss some of that right now because I think it's really, really important. It's super important, right? Because I mean, let's face it, right? If you're not learning, if you're not growing, what are you doing every single day, right? So let me just grab my notebook real quick, right? Because I know I had something I wanted to share with you guys real quick. Okay, cool. Awesome. Hope you guys are having an awesome time, awesome day today, right? But you know, let's talk real quick, right? And let's get right into it, right? Now, some of you guys are in a business, right? Not everybody is from the same business in Power Quantum, which is totally cool because the principles that we're going to be sharing with you really work for anything, okay? So let's talk about the first thing that I want you guys to understand, right? There's only two things that you're selling to your prospects, and I want you to write this down. There's only two things, okay? The first thing that you're selling is either your product inside of your company or your opportunity, okay? Those are the only two things that you're selling. Your product and your opportunity, okay? It's either people are purchasing products from you or they're looking at it and they're saying, hey, I can see myself making some money. Hey, I can see myself being part of this and I can see myself taking it to the next level, okay? Like some of you guys here in Power Quantum, some of you guys bought and decided to buy our products, right? Decided to buy our coaching services and everything and the courses inside of Empower Network, right? But some of you guys are not here to build Empower Network, which is totally cool, right? You guys are using the trainings from Empower Network plus the team hangouts and the trainings that we offer here in Power Quantum to take your business to the next level. See how that works, right? And some of you guys are affiliates of Empower Network with Power Quantum. And some of you guys looked at Empower Network and said, hey, I can make 100% commission. Hey, I can see myself working this. And some of you guys are in strictly because of the opportunity that you saw in the Empower Network that got you to get started as an affiliate, right? So now, what's the real market, right? Who are you marketing to, right? Because that's another question. That's probably one of the biggest problems that I faced when I got started. As a matter of fact, when I got started, there was a moment, I'll never forget this. Nobody was in the house, right? And I was just bombarded with so much information, just information overload, okay? I know some of you guys might be feeling that way because some of you guys are computer illiterate, right? Some of you guys have never really understood this, but some of you guys know that everything's going on the internet, right? Some of you guys know the importance of understanding how to automate business on the internet because there's so many people buying from the internet, right? Is that not right? And that started, which is totally cool because I was in a position in my life where I was overloaded with information, and I remember just slamming my computer, slamming it, right, just closing it, right, and I'm just saying, man, forget this, man. You know, I was getting bombarded from left, from, you know, all these different strategies, and I couldn't really understand why I wasn't succeeding, right? Well, the real problem, right, was I wasn't succeeding because I didn't know who I was targeting. I didn't know who I was going to market. You know, I didn't know who I was marketing to, right? And let's be honest, right? You are an entrepreneur and you run your own business. What does that mean? All an entrepreneur is and a business owner is a problem solver. Somebody that solves a problem in the market and makes a profit from it. So I need you to understand that. If you're not solving anybody's problems and you're just trying to get people to sign your team, sign up in your business to get a rank or to get a bonus, right? That's not going to last. That's not going to be longevity. That's not going to be sustainability, right? Because at the end of the day, people will stay with you and people will be loyal customers, loyal followers, right? If you're solving people's problems, if you're giving back to them, right? And that's just really how it is. That's really the real secret, right? As a matter of fact, I was reading something by, I think, Earl Nightingale, and he said something really profound. And I really want you to pay attention because I don't want this to go over your head, right? Don't get distracted by the beautiful blonde hair. Just play it around. But he said something like this. He said, the rewards in your life are a proportion, are a direct proportion to the value that you provide, the service that you provide, right? What does that mean? That means product from you. In order for people to buy into your opportunity, you have to be willing to put out value in the marketplace, right? Now, when you look at value, there's 4 things that value comes, right? Value comes in 4 shapes, which is supply, demand, quality, and quantity, right? Those are the 4 things on how value works. Those are the 4 things, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to give value to the marketplace. But if you don't know who you're targeting, if you don't know who your market is, it's going to be very difficult to market what you're marketing, your business or your product, right? This is the biggest problem that I had. So right now, for a couple of seconds before I get into anything, right, I want you to right now write this down and ask you and answer these questions. The first one is, who am I targeting, right? And here's a real simple idea, so you don't have to like think about it so much, right? You should be somebody like yourself. And you know why? Because you know how to be yourself, and because you can relate to people that way. Because who knows you better than you do, right? So that's the first question. Who are you targeting? The next question that you should be asking yourself is, what is their problem? Right? Write that down. What is their problem? Okay? And then once you figure that out, the next question that you should be asking yourself is, where do my prospects hang out? Now, I'm not talking about like, at the mall, because really there's a bunch of people there. There's a lot of stuff. Your prospects right now are on Google, or they're on the internet internet, surfing the internet on certain websites. They're on the internet on certain social media outlets. They're on the website right now, right? So the problem, as a matter of fact, every 30 seconds somebody is joining a business. The problem is that people are not joining you, and they're never going to join you if you don't target them. You need to have a target market. You need to figure out who are you marketing to. What problem are you solving in their life for them to give you money, for them to sign up with you, for them to pay your product, or for them to get into your business for the opportunity. Okay? So I'm going to get something to drink real quick, and I want you to answer those 3 questions. First one, who are you targeting? The second one, what is the problem that they're having in their life or in their business, right? And the third one is, where do they hang out? Think about it. Where would you be hanging out, right? So I'll be right back. Those are the 3 questions. I'm gonna get something to drink real quick, and then when I get back, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna share with you the 3 different phases, right? In constructing a funnel that converts. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, cool. I'm back. Okay. Right? Awesome, right? If you didn't answer those questions, here's what I'm going to let you know, right? There's 2 types of people, right? The person that does nothing when they're supposed to do it, and then the person who takes action. And the person who does absolutely nothing when they're supposed to do it, or they say, hey, I don't need that right now, or, guess what? That's fine. But you are where you are because of your best thinking. Remember that. You are where you are because of your best thinking. So if your thinking has gotten you where you are right now in life, then keep doing it if you like it. And if you don't like it, it's time to change, right? So I hope you did that, right? Hopefully you did that. And the next thing that I want to talk about is the 3 phases, right? And how we're going to do this, right? The first thing, right, is called sorting, right? You guys are on the internet, so because you guys are leveraging the internet to bring people into your business, right, and sell stuff or get people to sign up in your opportunity, what you need to understand, right, is that there needs to be a strategy to sort people out. There needs to be a strategy to sort people out. So, for example, one day, me and my wife decided, right, we decided to go to the mall, right, which is totally cool, right? But what we did was not so cool. We decided to just randomly start talking to strangers, and we decided to just survey them, right? Because we wanted their information, and we wanted them to get into our deal, right? Now, the problem with that, hold on one second. Now, the problem with that, right, is this. That way was going to take a very, very long time for us to sort through people and get people who are interested in what we have to offer. So there needs to be systematic ways, a systematic way that sorts through people and that gives you the people who are interested in your opportunity or interested in buying from you, right? So one of the ways that we sort people out is through a capture page. Now, this is something to understand. Some of you guys don't even know what this terminology is, right? But all a capture page is simply a page that collects people's information, but before they do, right, it's a page that basically gets people, right, You know, hold on one second. Let me see. I'll show it to you real quick. Man, like the mosquitoes are bad out here, man. I think I'm gonna go inside real quick. I'm getting bit up. Okay, cool. Let me show you something real quick, right? And let me know if you see my screen. It's cool. 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 By the way, if you don't have lead pages, I don't know what you're waiting for, man. It's like the bomb. And now they just added some really cool stuff. So, all right, cool. So let's talk about this. This is one way to sort people out, right? So what we're gonna do here, let me show you something real quick, right? Let's get some power couples up in here. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Let me see that. Okay, cool. So let's take this as an example, okay? I want you to pay attention real quick, okay? So this is a way to sort people out. Now, obviously, I want you to understand something. This is why it's so important to understand who you're targeting, okay? It's important to understand who you're targeting because when you're on the internet and you're looking to solve people's problems, right? You can't try to solve if you don't know who you're talking to. How are you going to solve their problems? You might be solving something that they could care less about, right? So in this example, right, we're targeting couples because me and my wife are known as the power couple, right? And what's one of the problems that couples are having inside their life, right? But one of the problems that they're having in their life is that they're not spending enough quality time. They're not building something together. They're growing apart, and they probably would like a little bit more financial just a little bit more money in their pocket so they can start doing the things that they truly want to do in their life, right? So I'm targeting couples, and that's the problem. Now, what I'm selling is the opportunity, right? I'm not really selling a product. I'm selling the opportunity to be able to do those things, right? Now, this is a perfect example of sorting through people. Anybody who clicks on this page, guess what? If they're not interested in what I'm talking about, if they're not a couple, if they're not looking to build their dreams, if they're not looking for an opportunity, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to put their information in, and I'm not going to have to talk to that person, which thank God I don't have to talk to that person, because if I talk to that person, they're just not going to respond in the way that I want them to because they're not interested. Okay, so this is an example of sorting through people. God damn, I think I'm going to go inside. I'm getting bit up, guys. Right? Real quick. I'm getting bit up. 1 second. Oh, man, I'm getting so bit up here. Man, I just took a couple of shots for you guys outside. Okay, cool stuff, right? So I just showed you a capture page, right? Look, listen, don't get confused about what a capture page is. All a capture page is a page that basically is collecting people's information, and in return, I give them what they're looking for, right? So that's a way to sort through people. You see, going to the mall, even though that's a way to sort through people, it's not the most effective way, right? So another way to sort through people is through a third-party product. So, for example, right, if your company, they have tools, right, like DVDs, right? If they have tools like a DVD or maybe a pamphlet or whatever the case is, I think DVDs are most effective, right? Right? That's a way to sort through people. You kind of talk to people and you say, hey, I got this thing, right? Let me give you an example here real quick. Because here's what's really cool about a third-party exposure tool, right? You can get anybody, right? Anybody who doesn't know how to sell, right? And the DVD does the selling for them, right? That's what's really cool about a third-party tool, like a DVD, okay? But that's just an example, right? That's an example of sorting through people, which is a capture page, right? So we're going to be talking about that later on, right? The next thing, right, is a series of structured steps to get started, right? So let me give you another example here, okay, real quick. Another example is this. Let me just open something up real quick so I can screen share. Man, I got bit up out there. Okay, cool. I'm not sure if you can see my screen, right? So this is a training series, right? Now, what I'm selling here is a product. Remember, there's only two things that you can sell, which is a product or your opportunity. So here, I'm targeting people. I'm just sharing. I'm getting people to this, and I'm getting them exposed to me, right? Because the more I get them to see me, they're gonna like, know, and trust me. And when I can get them to agree on all those three things, the sale is gonna be a lot easier, right? So here's an example, right? This is a training series for free that people watch, right? That continues to allow them to see this stuff, right? And it puts them through a process, a step-by-step process that allows them to keep watching. As they keep watching, they start to like us. They're getting value, and eventually it pushes them to the sale, right? This is an example, a training series, right? Another example would be, let me just pull something up, right? Oh man, like I just got bit up by those mosquitoes. There are no jokes out there, man. Oh man. Okay, cool. So here's another example, right? An autoresponder. An autoresponder. Okay. Now, why is an autoresponder cool? Because it does the follow-up for you. For example, one of the cool reasons why you should have an autoresponder is because it's better than you manually having to message everybody when they get in. Every time they give you their email address, can you imagine you having to manually send them an email? Instead, why not have a follow-up series, right? So I'll give you an example here, right? This is a follow-up series, right? Which, by the way, we will talk about this on another training, right? That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to just start helping you to think outside the box on how you can get people to buy anything from you as long as you put them through a sequence of exposures, right? A sequence of exposures. Taking their hands and taking them step by step, and edging them closer to the sale, okay? So that's really important for you to do, right? So let's talk about it again. You need a sorting mechanism, a presentation process, some type of event or live event, a hangout, whatever the case is, and a follow-up mechanism, right? This is a follow-up mechanism, right? So that's an example. It's really cool, by the way. So let's get back on here and let's talk for a second, okay? So some of you guys are saying, okay, I get it, but it seems a little tricky. It seems a little difficult. It may seem a little hard to understand. And here's what I want to let you know. For those who are brand new, right? I'm talking to you, and I'm letting you know that when you're learning something new for the first time, it's a beautiful thing, actually. The fact that you're learning something new just goes to show that right now, you're at the beginning stages of mastering, becoming a master, right? It's funny, right? Because let's take a look at a baby, for example. All of us were babies, right? And when babies are first learning how to walk, right? How to move their bodies. They don't just, babies don't automatically run, right? It's a process that they go through, right? They crawl a little bit. Once they start crawling, they start hanging on to things, and they kind of stand up on their knees, and they're kind of wobbling, right? And they fall, and they fall, and they fall, right? Now, wouldn't it be stupid if a baby just falls one time and says, you know what, I'm just not going to walk anymore. I'm just not going to try walking. I'm just going to crawl for the rest of my life. Wouldn't that be stupid, right? Well, guess what? It would be stupid for you to say, let me just run, when this is the first time you're doing something. Take it step by step. Continue to come to the trainings on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific time every single week. And as you continue to take action on certain things little by little by little, and you keep coming here, you're going to realize, like the baby, that you're going to start crawling. You're going to start hanging on to things. You're going to fall, but it's okay. You're going to get back up, and you're going to keep on going. And then eventually, you're going to walk. And then you're going to run. You're going to run. You're going to run. I believe it. I believe it. because that's what happened to me and my wife. You see, when we got started, the internet was just, even though we're young, we thought we knew the internet, but we didn't really know the internet, right? Actually, we didn't know much, right? The only reason why we know what we know now is because we never gave up. The only thing that you can control today is today, right? Some of you guys are looking too far out in the future. Some of you guys are looking out into the past, right? And you're saying, well, I can't do it because I used to do this in the past, or I'm known as this person. You need to get rid of that belief. You need to establish a new belief right now. And that belief is that you're going to make a commitment to become wealthy. Because there's three types of people here, right? When people become entrepreneurs, there's three types of people, right? The first person is the person that wants to get rich. The first person is the person that wants to get rich, right? I want to get rich, right? You ask somebody who wants to get rich in the room, everybody raises their hand, everybody. But they're not willing to stick it out when challenges come, right? The second type of person is the person that says, I choose to be rich, which is a step above wanting to become rich. But that's not enough. It's not enough. Then you have the last person, and this is the person that you absolutely want to become. And it's, I am committed to becoming rich. You know, I get really emotional about this stuff, right? Because, you know, some of you guys haven't been in very long, and you guys are thinking of quitting. Some of you guys have been in a little longer, and some of you guys are saying, well, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen, right? And here's what I want to let you know. It's gonna happen when you stick with it, right? You stick with it. Because guess what? Doesn't it make sense? Like if it took you 2 years, right, to obtain freedom and do the things that you want to do in your life, isn't that better than not obtaining freedom all of your life, right? Isn't that better? And that's the third type of person that you want to become. That third person is the one that commits, the one that's willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what. No matter what, right? That's the type of person that in whatever situation they may be in or whatever challenges they may be experiencing, they push through it. They push through it. Look, actually, I remember one time, right, where I was actually in a fight, right? Me and my wife used to run a martial arts school, and I was an instructor, and I was fighting. I was fighting one day, and when I was fighting, I got really scared. I got really afraid because it was my first fight. I had never fought before, and this was actually my first amateur fight, and I was actually fighting outside the school, right? And when I decided to fight outside the school, it's something I had never done before. You guys have never done this before, right? Which is cool, because that's where I was at in my life at that point. And every time that we kept getting closer and closer to the place, I started getting more and more afraid, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was afraid of the unknown, right? Which is kind of funny, because most of the things that we love to do today, at one point in our life, was unknown to us. We had no idea how much we would love it until we experienced it. And some of you guys have no idea how simple this is until you actually do it and you take action, right? Well, anyways, while we were getting to that fight, they gave me this game plan, right? And my wife was coaching me at the time, right? Because she's my sensei, which I learned a lot of stuff from her. And she was teaching me exactly what I needed to do to win. Very similar to what I'm doing now, right? I'm teaching you exactly what you need to do, right, in order to start getting more signups and start getting more sales in your business, right? And when she gave me the game plan, here's what I did. I nodded and I said, okay, yes, I'm going to do that. And she's like, okay, so you need to jab, cross, make sure you're moving in the ring, don't stay stuck, keep your hands up every time you punch, make sure another hands come up, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, let's do it. And she's like, okay, this is the game plan, and this is what you're going to do, all right? And can you believe it, that the moment that I stepped into the ring, the game plan that she had given me went right over my head. I threw the game plan out, and I started to fight the same way this guy was fighting. I went to this guy's level, and because I went to this guy's level, I was not able to do what I needed to do, right? And some of you guys are there right now. Some of you guys have the game plan. Some of you guys know exactly what you need to do right now, but you're not doing it because you're afraid. You're not doing it because something's holding you back. And you need to figure out what that is. And what was holding me back at that time from fighting the way I should have fought was the fact that I was afraid. I was afraid because I was doing something for the first time. I was afraid to fail. I was afraid of a lot of things, right? But here's why working on your mindset is so important. Because my wife told me step by step what I needed to do in order to win that fight. And because I wasn't right in my mindset, I wasn't thinking clearly, by the time that I left her site, I had rearranged all of her steps, and then I threw the game plan out. So let me ask you something. In that situation, whose fault is that? Is that her fault? Did she give me the wrong game plan? Did she give me the wrong game plan? No, she didn't give me the wrong game plan. You know, the fault was clearly mine, right? Because I decided to just go out there and get rid of the game plan, right? And that's what you're going to continue to do if you don't fix and you don't work on building the right mindset, right? Because it's going to take work. It's going to take persistence. It's going to take overcoming certain challenges that you're not used to because this is brand new. But you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing, right? Because it's right there. It's right there. Well, anyway, when we were fighting, nobody won, right? It just became a big mess. It was like a draw, right? But what I learned from that fight is that it wasn't even that big of a deal. It was not that big of a deal. I made it big in my mind. I made it this really big, massive deal inside of my mind, right? By the way, you know, I want to cover something real quick, right? Before we end here, right? I want to let you know something. When it comes to the sales psychology and building your funnel, right? What you need to understand is this: is how can you get your prospect to see what you're offering multiple times? How can you give them enough exposures for them to push them into getting them to buy? And it's simple. It's not by spamming them with your link. It's not by saying, hey, look at this, join here. That's not how you do it, right? We talked about earlier on value. And like I mentioned to you, there's 4 values broken up into 4 types, which is supply, demand, quantity, and quality. You know what I'm saying? Those are the 4 things. And if you can focus on those things when you're building the relationship with your prospect, because that's really what you're doing, right? You're not just giving them a join link. They're not signing up. That's not how you signed up, right? Because you guys were to be on here, right? If you think about it, how you got here is because that's exactly what we did, right? And here's what I want to let you know. If you make the commitment to be on these Hangouts every single week on Wednesdays at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern, I can almost guarantee that you will break through. It's inevitable because you just got to stick with it, right? My wife says, this is something that my wife taught me, and she said, you know, the problem in why you're not succeeding is not, it's not that the actions are wrong, right? But the problem is that you're not being consistent with those actions, right? You're being inconsistent with them, right? I'll tell you a quick story. When we first got started, we didn't have any system, right? We didn't understand what we needed to do. We were kind of like running around like a chicken without a head, right? Just doing everything. And then we weren't getting anything accomplished, right? And because of that, we weren't progressing. And because we weren't progressing, we didn't feel like we were going anywhere. And that's not a good feeling. That's not a good feeling, right? But guess what? We kept on going. We kept on getting on the trainings. We kept on getting on those calls, right? We kept on learning. We kept on taking action. And then, all of a sudden, what people like to call a breakthrough, which is really a breakthrough, if you define a breakthrough, it's really taking small, consistent actions every single day of the things that you need to do that over a long period of time, and eventually, that's what people call a breakthrough. A breakthrough is just an accumulation of making the right decisions and being efficient every single day. That's all it is. That's all it is. right? Well, anyways, I'll never forget this, right? Which, by the way, I want to say this. This is our objective for you, right? Our objective for you is to start getting 30 leads in your business and eventually start getting 2 signups every single day. What I want you to do is I want you to hold that however you see it. Maybe you see it in a picture, maybe you see it in words, but I want you to hold that thing in your mind as long as possible. I want you to write it down. I want you to see it every single day. And I want you to say to yourself when you wake up, 2 sales a day and 30 leads is easy. And here's the reason why. You know, me and my wife were doing this for about 7 months, right? And we didn't really see any significant results, right? And we were doing this for 7 months. But in the process of doing this for 7 months, I always would tell myself, if I can, 2 signups a day and 30 leads is so simple, right? And I would say this even when I didn't really believe it, right? But eventually, here's what happened. I was saying it so much, so consistently, every single day, that eventually one day I looked at that and I said, holy smokes, we just got 2 signups and 30 leads today. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how eventually, as you continue to repeat it, and you can continue to keep saying it, it's only a matter of time before it happens. I'll tell you another story real quick, and then we're gonna get into the last part of this training, right? And in the last part of this training, what I'm gonna teach you guys, right, is how to structure, right? Which we covered that, right? But what you need to do on the last part, which a lot of people forget, it's really important, right? But I'm not gonna talk about it just right now. But I want to share this quick story with you, right? You know, in martial arts, right? Me and my wife train Shotokan, it's Japanese martial arts or whatever, right? But every time you go to this martial arts school, right? Every time you would take class, you have to do these student creeds, right? And I still remember it. Let's see if I can do it, right? So the instructor would tell us to get into attention position. The dog, sorry about that. Right? Then he would tell us to get into ready position, right? And when we were getting into ready position, there was something called student creeds, right? And student creed 1 was, student creed 1, I will have, I will continue to keep pushing through, right? It was like a section, right? And then the last creed, I think it's, winners never quit, quitters never win, I choose to be a winner, sir, right? But the reason why we would do the student creeds every single time we would go into class is because we were developing a routine. We were developing a routine to get prepared and to take an action, to get prepared into having the best class of our life, to get prepared to train. You see, some of you guys are missing routines in your life, right? Some of you guys don't have routines to get into that zone. Some of you guys don't have routines, and because of that, you guys are probably having a hard time taking action, right? Here's another example. Right? When you take a look at any successful person, well, let's take a look at sports, right? I don't know. I was watching this video on YouTube about LeBron James, right? Some of you guys know who he is, some of you guys don't, but he's a very successful, I would say, NBA player, professional, right? And he does the funniest routine, but this is how he gets prepared before he goes out to every single game and he crushes it. You know what it is? The weirdest thing ever. He combs his head to the side. He puts on his headband, right? But here's where it gets really weird. When he puts on his sock, right, he pulls it up, it's long socks, and then he starts like hitting like little crease marks, right? And then he makes sure that he has 7 crease marks, right? Boom, 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 right? And then he moves on to the next sock, and he makes sure he does 7 creases in those socks. Boom, 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 right? And then he puts on his headphones and he goes out there, right? Now, that's powerful because when you're waking up every single day and you're looking at it and you're saying 2 sales or 2 signups a day and 30 leads, it's simple. It's only a matter of time before it happens, and it's a perfect routine to get you prepared and to take an action and to or in the portion of your work time, in the portion of the time that you're actually going to get to work and get to doing it, right? So yeah, man, really cool stuff. So I'm gonna finish it off here, guys, right? And here's what I want to let you know, right? I'm gonna get right into this I wanted to just cover one thing. Let me just look at my notes here. Yes, yes, cool stuff, cool stuff. I almost forgot this one, right? But this one's really good. Okay, make sure, right? Eventually, what you want to start doing. First of all, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge some of you guys, right? Because here's what me and my wife want to do, right? We want to make you guys like us or better, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to start shooting videos every single day. And here's the reason why you should do it. Because when you shoot videos every single day and you do it repetitive, it's inevitable, right, that you're going to become a better communicator. As a matter of fact, that's what happened to me. I did videos for the next 90 days and I blogged for the next 90 days. And I'll never forget this, but there came a point where it just tipped over. There came a point where all of a sudden, like magic, my words started to flow and I started to communicate in a way that I never thought was possible. Now here's the reason why you want to do that. Because what I want to encourage you guys to do eventually is to start doing hangouts. Start doing hangouts with your people, right? Do a hangout once a week, right? Some of you guys are ready for that right now. Some of you guys aren't just yet, right? But here's where I'm going with this. Do a hangout with your people, right? Do hangouts with your prospects. Because that's getting them, that's an exposure. That's an exposure. And the more exposures that you can expose people to, guess what? The closer they get into getting in, right? Into getting in, right? So it's almost just about that hour, right? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave you with an action plan. And this is the action plan that I want you guys to do right now. Okay? You paying attention? Is it cool? Hold on, let me just get something to drink real quick. My mouth is parched. Okay, cool. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to get clear on who your target market is. Right? Who are you targeting? Who are you targeting? Very important. Who is your avatar? Right? Who is your avatar, which happens to be the perfect prospect. Okay? The next thing that I want you to do is once you get clear on who your target market is, right? I want you to start putting content out there. Now, there's many ways you can put content out there. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Facebook, right? You can use Instagram, right? But once you figure out who you're targeting, you're going to realize something special. You're going to realize and you're going to know where they hang out. You're going to realize what you need to write and how you're going to write it. That's going to get them attracted to you, okay? That's going to be really cool. All right, and the last thing is I want you to start shooting videos. Start shooting videos because you're going to become a way more powerful communicator, right? And the only way you're going to build an organization and an empire is by developing that skill set, developing your communication skills to the next level. Because people want to be led. Secretly, whether they admit it or not, people want to be led. And guess what? They're not going to follow anybody who's not confident. They're not going to follow anybody that can't transfer that to them, right? So it's really important. So 3 things. Get clear on your target market. Second thing is put content out there, right? And the third thing is start shooting videos. Okay, guys? And last but not least, I'll finish off with this. In March, all right, a couple of months ago, it's not too long ago, me and my wife, we were at a hotel, the Haldridge. She was in the pool, and I was outside. And here's what happened, right? I was probably at one of the points where I had no idea how close our breakthrough was. But I was really frustrated. I was really fed up, right? I was really mad. And I started kind of talking to God in a way that I've never talked to him before. Kind of like screaming at him, yelling at him from the rooftops of my lungs. And as I was pacing back and forth and I'm angry and I'm saying, you know, you told me I'm going to succeed. When am I going to succeed? When is this going to happen? You know, I got to catch a glimpse of my face, right? And when I caught my reflection on this mirror or whatever it was, right, I kind of looked at myself and I said, holy crap, I look pathetic. I was looking at myself and I said, what the frick? This is crazy. This is crazy. And I looked at myself and I said, you're going to go out there and you're going to make 2 signups. You're going to get 30 leads that day. You're going to do it today. You're going to do it today. And I just started talking to myself really, really strong. You know, I think I even cursed at myself, right? But here's what happened. Later that day, we created our first 2 sales and 30 leads in a single day. And guess what? It was at the point where I felt like giving up. And imagine if I would have given up. None of this would have happened. You guys wouldn't be on here. Power Quantum wouldn't exist, right? But sometimes, in order for you to hit a high, you have to hit a low. Sometimes you just have to be so low in your life where you're just so angry and so pissed off of the way you're living that you go out there and you just crush it. You go out there and you start doing things without caring. Not in a reckless way, but without caring what people say. Without caring about what your fears say. Without caring about what your bank account says. Without caring about what the results in your past and things that you've done. And all of a sudden you go out there and all of a sudden you begin to start creating this energy that you're putting out. And all of a sudden that energy comes back in a transfer of wealth. Comes back and all of a sudden you look at it and you say, damn, if it wasn't for that moment, if it wasn't for that moment, if it wasn't for that moment, right? And now me and my wife have personally sponsored, we're like 10 people away from sponsoring 100 people in about 120 days, right? In 120 days. And I want to let you know that anything's possible. I want to let you know that the only thing that's impossible is the limits that you put on yourself. It's the limits that you put on yourself. And guess what? Success ain't easy. It ain't easy. It's tough, but it's not for everybody. But if you're willing to show up every week on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, here's what's going to happen. You're going to do it. And the next thing I want to let you know is that any action that you're taking towards your success, even though it may not be paying you today, right now, will always pay you back. Will always pay you back in the future. Will always pay you back in the future. Because there's so many things that never paid me a single penny that I did in the past, that now I look back at it and I'm actually making money from that. I'm making money from that experience. I've gained wisdom. I've gained experience. I gained a certain thinking that I'm using right now that allows me to profit on a bigger scale, right? So, hey, if you shoot a video and you don't get any leads, or you put something on YouTube or you blog and nothing comes back, it's okay. Trust me, it's okay. Any action that you take towards your success will always pay you in the future. And with that being said, friends, I'll see you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. And best believe, make sure you check your emails, right? We're going to be sending you updates of what the next event's going to be, right? And then, you know, we'll go from there, guys. See you next week, and have an awesome week. We love you. Remember that. And remember this, we believe in you.